Gareth Davey. So Gareth, if you can turn on your camera. Gareth completed the BCom degree and is now undertaking a master's in marketing practice. So Gareth's going to share his experience. If you're there, Gareth, take off or unmute yourself.
Yep, can you hear me there, Aisling?
Great. Thanks a million, Gareth. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks for having me tonight. So, yep, unlike, say, Patrick or Megan, that I didn't really have I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to go down in business. I did business for my leaving cert, but I wasn't exactly sure if I wanted to specialize in anything. I didn't do accounting or economics or that, but I knew I wanted to study business. So I chose the BCom General, GY 201, the 3-year degree. And that gave me the fundamentals. It taught me the fundamentals of business in first year and in my second year, which was great because it really allowed me to kind of discover what side of business I loved. So as I progressed through my degree, I found that I had a love for marketing, and it was just great. As well as that, actually, I should mention that in first and second year, like I said, I just did business, but I didn't do accounting or economics for my leaving cert. But in first year, when I got taught accounting and economics, they're taught from scratch, which was very, very helpful for me to understand those fundamentals. And I wasn't at a disadvantage for not learning them at leaving cert. So as I said, I progressed through my degree and I found I had a love for marketing, and I was able to specialize that in my final year. And it was just great. There was core subjects of marketing in my final year were very, very great, very, very approachable. And as well as that, there was diverse subjects I could choose for that really helped me tune my degree that way I liked it. So I always had I always liked, say, technology and all that. So my final year, as well as doing core marketing subjects, I was able to do an optional subject of web design, which I very much enjoyed and really helped prepare my degree. And while I know some people in the chat have been asking, is there a disadvantage for him doing the 3-year rather than work placement? But while I was in my second year, I had the knowledge kind of fresh in my head, doing all that. I just really wanted to get back into final year, so I decided to go straight into final year there. And I had the idea of doing a master's already in second year by one of the school talks that the school organised. And so now in 4 years, I'll be able to have my undergrad and my master's in the 4 years. So it really is no disadvantage doing, say, the 3-year course compared to a 4-year course. And that's basically, that's kind of me up to now.
Fantastic. Thanks, Gareth. And just while we're kind of have a panel discussion between yourself and Patrick and Megan and Niamh, I was thinking about student societies and sports clubs and how important that is for even employers to see that you guys have built your digital brand, let's say, and building your CV all the time, not just in the classroom, Niamh touching it, but outside the classroom by joining sports and clubs and societies. I know we've like over 150 different sports clubs and societies. So I don't know if any of you students want to share. Did you join societies or any clubs or anything that you did with the Career Development Centre? Did you get an employability badge or anything like that helped your digital brand and build your own CV that you'd like to share with the students and give them a heads up on?
I might come in on that, Aisling.
Sure.
So yes, it's Patrick. So just in college, I think one thing that's really good, because I think sometimes is the whole aspect of volunteering. So NUI Galway offered the Alive program for volunteering. So basically, it's a certificate which you get on the basis of so many hours that you do for volunteering. It's actually very nice. There was a ceremony before, and I'm sure there'll be a ceremony in the future pre-COVID, but it's very good just to get out, and anyone who's interested in volunteering, I highly recommend getting involved in that.
Yeah, I could as well go on that as well. That I was definitely no athlete and never will be, unfortunately, but I was able to help out in volunteering, all that. So I actually became a ambassador of the school ambassador while I was throughout my degree. So I was able to help out in events that were going on in the business school throughout the year and all that. And it was just great to kind of get the foot in the door and kind of see how everything works in business and all that. And that really has stood out to me. And when I did an interview for my master's place, they were asked about that and my role in that. So it really did stay with me and all that. So it really was great to just kind of get involved with that.
I got involved with the Alive program as well. Actually, I volunteered with Madra. So they're a charity. If you don't know, they're a charity in Galway. They help with dogs, trying to find dogs homes, pretty much. So I worked in their shop at the weekends, volunteered in their shop, and if they had a fun run, I'd help out stewarding at that. So it was a great opportunity as well to get involved in.
Fantastic, and well done to you all. I think it's great to develop those skills and even networking skills outside of the classroom as well. You never know who you're going to meet through a student society or a sports club. Michael D, he was president of the Literary and Debating Society while he was a student here. So, and look at him now. So you just don't know the skills that you're going to pick up and the networks that you'll meet. And Neve from PwC, I don't know if you want to make a comment on that. How important is that when you're going through the milk run and the graduate recruitment cycle, looking at students and what they've done outside the classroom, because you might get a lot of students graduating with the same degree award. So it must be very difficult for you guys to distinguish and set students apart. So I'm sure you look at things like that outside of the classroom.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of comes back to that balance piece, to be able to show that they can balance and prioritize and plan and organize themselves. And because that's what they'll be doing when they come and join us. But also students think that because they're not involved in society, or they're not a captain of whatever team it is, that they're not doing something. And what I'd always say to someone is, what's your thing? So what are you interested in? Whether it's sport, music, pottery, part-time jobs, whatever it is, it's just about having an interest in something and kind of following that through. And you're bringing me back to times when I played hockey in college, and actually my first year was into varsities in Galway, and we had an absolute ball. And it's networking as well. It's getting to meet new people all the time. And then, like, the sport isn't your thing, if you're actually really into the finance side of thing, I know we also sponsor the Finance Society in NUI Galway, and they've fantastic events and skills sessions as well themselves that they do, and have different industries, not just us, just because we sponsor them. It's not solely PwC. They do have other, and I know as part of your skills program as well, you have vast, I'm going to say on your books, a vast network of industries. And it's about that network, and especially if you are in that virtual environment, you have to kind of be a bit innovative on how you can network and how you can meet new people. So yeah, what's your thing? And trying to get that across. I think that's probably the biggest thing I'd say to people. It doesn't have to be what everybody else is doing. It just has to be what you're interested in, and being able to articulate that and include it on your CV or application form really helps you stand out.
Great, thanks, Neve. And another thing employers feed back to us, and you've mentioned it in the past as well, is because our campus is so diverse and the students are mixing with different students from all over the world and different cultures, that it helps in this global world that we're now living and working in, that every industry is global in their outlook. So that those cross-cultural awareness skills are developed on campus through mixing with the student societies and the different international students and so on, that students get a flavour and get introduced to different cultural norms early on in their student life, and they bring this into their work life with them, and there's less of a learning curve than when they're working in a global setting. So there's multiple benefits to becoming joining us in NUI Galway and becoming one of the NUI Galway students. I think we've covered all of our speakers. I know Dr. Joanna Clancy is with us tonight as well. I see her really busy there in the chat. She's the program director of the BCom. I'm not sure, Joanna, if you have anything else to add, or is there anything I've missed? I know you're flat out answering the questions there as I've been moderating the presenters. But if there's anything I've missed or anything you want to add from an academic point of view, feel free. I think we've covered nearly everything, I think.
I think everything's covered, Aisling. Thanks for the introduction, and thanks to all our speakers. You've represented our course very well, and thanks to Neve as well for coming on for PwC. There's nothing more really that I can add there, Aisling, only really to address some of the questions that have been asked here in the chat. The main questions being about transferring from BCom to BCom Global, the difference between the courses. Will students be at a disadvantage if they haven't studied business subjects coming into a commerce degree? And no, you won't. So if you haven't studied business or accounting or economics for the Leaving Cert, you won't be at a disadvantage, because there's plenty of help. Everybody starts on the same page, and there are plenty of tutorials and everything that will help you catch up and do your best. So don't worry about that. There are no requirements there. And then for transfer from the BCom to the BCom Global, we have a number of places every year. This changes every year, and it changes based on what the academic requirements are. So usually it's around a low 2-1, but this can change. And why it changes is based on the demand for the program and also how many placements that we can secure with our partners, with our employers. This could be challenging going forward based on the unique circumstances that we're facing and everybody's facing. But I can't make a call on that as to how many places will be available or what the minimum grade will be. But it will be a minimum of a 2-1, most definitely, to get onto the course, which is not difficult to get. It's absolutely not impossible, which is what one of the questions was, if you study hard. So no more than anything, a 2-1 is very achievable once you do your best. I'm trying to think, were there any other questions? It was mainly in relation to, the questions that you've had here in the chat. In the 3-year program, can you do placement and study abroad? No, you can't do it in the regular 3-year program. You'd need to be on the 4-year program to do that. But there are internships available, like our friends here from PwC have said, there are internships available for summertime as well, that you could make the most of those if you're on the 3-year program. So don't worry about that. And of course, we have other employers as well that take on interns. So I think that's it, really, Aisling. Well done to everybody for coming on and helping us out, and to all our guests here as well. If you need any more information, if there's anything that I haven't answered or our team haven't answered tonight, by all means get in touch with us. And as we always say, no question is silly. So whatever the question is, be sure to reach out and we can help. Okay, I think that's it, Aisling.
Great. Thanks so much, Joanna. And coming back to the question about the transferring, because we get that all the time. And I suppose in NUI Galway, we try and be as flexible and as accommodating as possible. So if you really want the BCom Global, but let's say you were just really disappointed and didn't get the points, but have the BCom down, because if you get the BCom, you can make up for it in year 1, as Joanna said. So entry to transfer over to the BCom Global is on a competitive basis, but it happens every year. I think on average, Joanna, around 60 students transfer. As Joanna said, it depends on supply and demand, how many places we have. We are growing our international university partners every year. So there's more and more of them coming on stream. So we cannot guarantee and say, yes, you'll definitely be able to transfer over. It depends year on year on the cohort and on your grades, but there is a backup option.
Just to come in there, yeah, exactly. So there is the option, the option to transfer. And as Aisling said, make sure that you do put, if your heart is set on BCom Global, make sure that you do put down the BCom as well with this transfer opportunity. Aisling, you said that we have about 60 placements around that. Yeah, around 60 places every year for BCom transfers into BCom Global. That's not guaranteed. So this number of 60 could fluctuate next year. So we're not promising there will be that amount of places, but in general, we have that amount of places. And once you meet the academic requirement that's set out each year, you will get a place once you meet the requirement that's been set.
Exactly, yeah. So make sure and put those, the BCom, after the BCom Global on your CAO form. And as we both said, there are opportunities. It's hard to predict the future, but that's the normal amount of students that transfer every year.